Now, I am going to touch upon very important things which are sacredly personal, Saint Germain explained, speaking directly to Nada, Pearl, Rex, and Bob Singleton. I do not wish you to feel that I intrude upon your sacred, private affairs, nor that I take advantage of you because of the power I possess and use. However, there are certain things that I must make unmistakably plain to you. Rex and Pearl are twin rays from the same divine flame. The flame comes forth from the heart of God, the great life consciousness of the universe, the great central sun. When you, the mighty I Am Presence, will to come forth into an individualized focus of conscious dominion and use the creative word I Am, your first individual activity is the formation of a flame. Then you, the individualized focus of the mighty I Am Presence, begin your dynamic expression of life. This activity we term self-consciousness, meaning the individual who is conscious of his source and perfection of life, expressing through himself. Only the self-conscious individual has all the attributes and creative power of the mighty I Am Presence. Only he can know who and what he is and express the fullness of the creative power of God whenever he decrees by the use of the words I Am. The outer human part of this activity is what we call the personality. It is but the vehicle through which perfection should be expressed into the outer substance of the universe. Within the pure God flame is a breath that pulsates constantly. This great fire breath is a rhythmic outpouring of divine love, its three attributes being love, wisdom, and power in action. These pour out constantly into the infinite sea of pure electronic light. This light is the universal substance or spirit out of which all forms are composed. It is intelligent, mark you, because it obeys law through the command of the individual who says or is conscious of, I am. These two words are the acknowledgement and release of the power to create and bring forth into outer existence whatever quality follows that acknowledgement. For intelligence to act, there must be intelligence to be acted upon. And the universal substance, being like a photographic film, takes the record of whatever quality the individual imposes upon it through his thought, feeling, and spoken word. The words I am, whether thought, felt, or spoken, release the power of creation instantly. Make no mistake about this. Intelligence is omnipresent, and it is within the electronic light. The first fiat of creation that went forth into infinity was, let there be light. And then creation took place, for out of this primal light comes all manifested form. The light is the central point of life or energy within every atom, composing the substance from which comes all physical manifestation. I speak of the atom because the lower rate of vibration composing the physical manifestation is the atomic structure, which we have under consideration. When you consciously envelop or hold any person, place, condition, or thing in the dazzling white light, you are penetrating, going through the atomic structure into the electronic, wherein there is no imperfection. In this use of the light, one penetrates the structure of imperfection, and that on which the attention is centered is then brought forth perfect, not only as the Father sees it, but it is the Father's perfection expressed. You, as the Son, are given choice, commanded to choose and direct where the energy, which is the activity of the light, shall go. It is imperative to have your conscious thought, your firm attention on what is to be accomplished, in order to give the needed direction to the activity of this mighty force, which it is your right and privilege to use. When you use the dazzling white light, you are actually accepting the electronic structure which is then present in manifestation, for you are acting from the plane of action of perfect manifestation. Your desire, when held steady, unwaveringly, becomes the conscious thought directing, for you cannot have a desire without conscious thought in the desire. Great strides have been made in the higher use of the light at the inner levels in the past 15 years. Your conscious great adherence to the light shows you are ready for its highest use. If in your use of the light you will know the perfection of what you wish is already present in manifestation, the moment you start the dynamic action of the light, it will remove all uncertainty in your mind as to the positive assurance of the manifestation or what you wish taking form in your physical use. In clothing or visualizing any person, place, object, or condition with the illuminated figure of Jesus Christ or the figure of any other ascended master, you are really unclothing, penetrating through the atomic garment, where you see, recognize, and accept the perfection you now want present in form, for you have swept aside all imperfection in the action. The student should see and feel his body as if composed of pure white flame, sending out long rays of light. The flame is your real self, the mighty I Am Presence, the full Christ perfection. The rays shooting forth are the divine mind, or love in action. These rays are what follow your conscious direction, carrying your thought and producing magical results when consciously directed, held firm by determined, unwavering conscious attention. The light you thus visualize is the electronic substance the Hindus call prana. This light is always directed by thought, but it is imperative that we learn to control and direct it consciously. This conscious control and direction is how the ascended masters accomplished such marvelous results. Divine love is a presence, an intelligence, a principle, a power, an activity, a light, and a substance. When we command divine love to go forth and do anything, we are setting into motion the highest form of action, the most powerful force. This, however, does not require terrific effort. In fact, it requires just the opposite. It is a calm, steady, determined, conscious knowing. As this becomes a fixed consciousness, an absolute certainty in one's conscious awareness, he will find more and more instantaneous response to his demand and command. Never be afraid to demand and command anything that is a universal principle. Make no mistake. The light, the universal electronic substance, is for your use, is at your command. Your mighty I Am Presence is a self-conscious being, of which your outer consciousness is but a fragmentary part. Therefore, you can talk to your mighty Master within as you would to a loving Father who possessed limitless light, love, riches, power, health, happiness, or anything you could desire. For the more you consciously use this mighty presence of the I Am, the quicker will it respond to you. Divine love can control all manifestation. If in your use of divine love, you are conscious that it has within itself all love, wisdom, and power of this mighty I Am Presence, the fact is that you qualify this principle which you command with whatever quality you are conscious of as being within it. You are given dominion of everything in the air, in the earth, in the fire, and in the water through the command of this mighty universal principle which is always at your conscious service and for your use. Love, divine mind, and prana are one in the static or still state. Through the conscious action of the individual, divine love, consciously directed, becomes love, wisdom, and power in action. This is why divine love, consciously directed to accomplish things, produces such marvelous results. It becomes instantaneous and all-powerful as soon as the outer consciousness ceases to limit it. Now to return to the explanation of the rays. The mighty God flame breathing within itself projects two rays into the great sea of pure electronic light. This intelligent light substance becomes the clothing, as it were, for these rays of the mighty I Am Presence. Each ray has all the attributes of the Godhead within it, and no imperfection can ever enter into or register upon it. The individualized flame sends down into the ray a focal point or spark, forming a heart center upon which gathers the electronic light substance, creating the electronic body. Around this, it sends out rays of lesser intensity that form an aura or force field. This force field is sometimes referred to as the causal body, and within it are deposited the results of all constructive effort during and between each embodiment. All electronic substance that has been used constructively by the personal self through physical experience is also deposited within it. Through it, the God flame can send out into space a greater release of its own life wave. The causal body, through the personality's journey in physical experience, becomes an ever-expanding sun and a self-sustained outpouring of limitless ideas, love, wisdom, and power, flowing out forever on rays of love to the rest of this universe. This sun is in reality a reservoir of constructively used energy and substance, gathered through human experience and drawn upward so it becomes the glory of the God flame, which, mark you, never loses its individual identity in the universe. This is how the beautiful, joyous, perfect, limitless activity of life and creation goes on, ever expanding its perfection. The universal substance and energy which the personal self uses discordantly accumulates in the atmosphere around the physical body of both the personality and the earth. Periodically it builds a vortex that can only be purified and returned to the great sea of the universal light by the activity of the fire element. The purifying process of the fire element acting within the flesh of the human body to consume wrong qualities sometimes produces a sensation of pain if wrongly qualified by the personality. But if the fire element acts within the flesh of the human body to vivify and energize, it produces the sensation of peace, exhilaration, and ecstasy. If acting in the atmosphere of the earth and within nature to purify, it sometimes produces volcanic and cataclysmic conditions. When acting to vivify and energize in nature, it produces marvelous growth and pure, rarefied air which vitalizes all. The personal self of every individual is endowed with the power of choice as to what it wishes to think, to feel, to create, and experience. If one uses all the substance and energy of his being constructively, then peace, expansion, joy, opulence, and glory are the return unto life for the outpouring of its gifts. If one choose and create otherwise, his misery and destruction return into himself and destroy his body. The personal self is a custodian of life, of ideas and of light substance, pure electronic substance. The very fact that one is in existence as a human being is an open acknowledgement to those who are able to read the book of life that he has decreed to come into individual existence and accepted of his own choice the responsibility of being a creator. Everyone must carry the responsibility of his world. If he is created because of the appetites of the physical body, things and conditions he does not enjoy, he has all power to purify and dissolve them by the right use of the fire element, of which divine love is the highest, most powerful, and eternal activity. If he desire to set his personal self and world in order, and therefore have peace and create a world of joy, perfection, and glory, he must look to his electronic body for the pattern of his divine perfection, for it cannot and never will be found anywhere else. There and there only can the personal self ever find security, rest, satisfaction, joy, and the fulfillment of every constructive desire, for in the fullness of the presence are the things that you desire. This perfect eternal electronic body abides from 12 to 50 feet above the physical body of every individual, unless he be of a very low or destructive type, when it withdraws still farther away. This is the Son, S-O-N, and Son, S-U-N, of God. For the electronic body of every individualized flame of God is a dazzling, blazing light of such intensity that the human eyes can only gaze upon it for the fraction of a second. By adoration to the God flame and purification of its instrument, the personal self, the outer activity of the mind and physical body becomes raised in vibratory attunement to see the electronic body clearly within the blazing light of the force field around it. The physical body, or actual atomic structure of the flesh, is the densest form and is the record of the outer activity of the mind. In certain phases of religious explanation concerning this electronic body, it has been referred to many times as the guardian angel. It is all of that and more when really understood and comprehended. To it, the personal self should look for the supply of every good thing as a child looks to its mother. All that is within the God flame flows into the electronic body, where the tremendous power and intensity of the light of the mighty I Am Presence is stepped down to a degree that can act in the vibratory octave of the physical world. From the heart center of the electronic body flows a stream of life essence or liquid light, which enters the physical body through the pineal gland and fills the nerve channels. This liquid white fire flows through the nerves as blood does through the veins. This beats the heart, moves the muscles of the body, and enables one to walk or raise the hand. It is also the energizing light within the brain cells. The life stream of the body has often been referred to as the silver cord. So it is, for the stream of liquid white light pulsates continually through the flesh body by way of the nervous system. At so-called death, the God presence withdraws the stream of liquid light and the flesh disintegrates. The reason the race continues to experience so-called death is because of the waste of this electronic light through emotional excesses, instead of retaining it within the physical brain and body to rebuild the cellular structure and supply the motive power for the entire body. Mankind does not like to hear this truth, but the waste of the life energy through uncontrolled feeling is the cause of the disintegration of all physical bodies outside of violence. If one used the inner sight to observe the life stream of a strong, healthy child, he will see the nerves of the body full of this dazzling liquid white light. Then, if he observe the body of the same child when ill or fatigued, he will see the light greatly diminished. In an old body, it is still more greatly dimmed, and if one wish to observe the soul passing out of the body at so-called death, he will see this life stream entirely withdrawn at the top of the head, until it becomes only a thin thread of light, which finally breaks. At that moment the heart ceases to beat. Again, let us return to the explanation of the rays. Nada and Bob Singleton are two other rays of an individualized God flame. Whether you choose to accept this wonderful fact depends entirely upon yourselves. I do not even suggest, but knowing the secret feelings of your hearts as I do, it is my privilege to disclose this much. It will explain some of the feelings which you have not understood. My sincere hope is that all four of you will be able to raise your bodies in this life with the outer attention consciously directed to that point. With the assistance which we can give at the proper time, you will be able to accomplish the final attainment. I feel your gratitude, for which I thank you. In answer to your thought of why this glorious privilege is yours, I want you to know that it is because of previous growth. Your own indwelling mighty I Am presence commands it for your safeguard and illumination. I shall now give you the explanation of the law by which you are able to illumine, raise the physical body, and express the full dominion, victory, and freedom of the ascended masters. The seed within man and woman is only intended for the sacred office of creating a body by which another soul may come into physical embodiment. At all other times, the glorious light within the body should be raised into the top of the head and allowed to flow up in adoration unto the mighty I Am presence. Then, by uplifted thoughts and feelings, one can do creative work at the mental level through glorious ideas, ideals of art, music, invention, discovery, research, and the creation of beauty and harmony of every description through a service that blesses humanity and therefore the individual who gives it. Instead of wasting the wonderful liquid light, the marvelous God-given essence of life, in sex, sensation, and excesses, whereby the body becomes decrepit, flabby, crippled, face lined, the eyes dull, the whole structure stooped and feeble, the brain inactive, the sight and hearing impaired, and the memory not able to function. This energy should be rightly used in wonderful, idealistic, creative activity. In such constructive consciousness and accomplishment, the physical body would remain eternally youthful and beautiful. The brain and faculties keen, alert, and active, and the whole physical expression would become the image and likeness of the living God, truly the temple of the Most High. Your bodies are now calling for their accustomed rest. The chambers are in readiness. Sleep until you awaken. I commend you to the embrace of your glorious, mighty I Am presence. Rest in peace. We returned to our beautiful sleeping chambers where all was in readiness.